Joe. Other interesting political news, you have Vivek on a trans shooter going viral on X Twitter. Now, this is thanks to Vivek's personal X Twitter profile. He is actually responding to an original post by Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson says, quote, the Lakewood church shooter identified as trans, the Iowa high school shooter identified as a radical rainbow activist, the Nashville shooter identified as a trans, the Colorado Springs shooter identified as non-binary, the Denver shooter identified as trans, the Aberdeen shooter identified as trans. One thing is very clear, the modern LGBTQIA plus movement is radicalizing activists into terrorists, and it's only getting worse, unquote. So that was the original post by Benny Johnson. That got 2.9 million views, and Vivek responded. Now, Vivek's response was, quote, trans is a mental health disorder, and it's a lie to dismiss this spat of tragedies as a mere coincidence, unquote. And Vivek got 1.2 million views in the first 24 hours of posting, as well as 39,000 likes. And it'll be interesting to see, perhaps one of the most polarizing or hot topics or greatest debates that we've been having is more and more people are starting to point out these instances where the shooters are identifying as certain sexual orientations. And it's just fascinating to see some of these instances by the mass media. Look at the stories will just get buried or not covered. And depending, I mean, if it's a Christian guy, they'll be on the page for weeks and they'll talk about in nauseum. Perhaps the greatest evidence of a cover-up or refusing to release data to the public would be the Nashville shooter, where the manifesto was only released thanks to the investigative reporting at Louder Crowder. And there's rumors maybe someone on the police team, but someone in Nashville was able to get that information, the manifesto, to the Crowder team, and they were able to release majority of the manifesto, which is how we know how this person identified, how much hate they had in their heart for other people. And can't but see the contrast when you have like a cliche when there's a white guy and there's one of these shooting incidents. Within like 2 hours, you know his favorite Pepsi, or you know if he prefers Pepsi or Coke, because they'll go into all the social media, they'll release all that data. And yet in these other instances, they're stopping the data from being released, they're burying the stories. So let's see the comments and see what folks are thinking. Let's see here. Right Angle News Network, which A+ for marketing. I mean, their picture quite literally is in fact of the mathematical right angle, and the logo is right in it. Now they say, quote, it needs to stop being affirmed, and every single doctor and every single leader and official who signed off on these experiments being allowed to be pushed onto our kids should be thrown in jail for the rest of their lives. What we have done is allowed evil. I'm quoting 69 likes. The Washington Times, oh, that's an ad. Which, again, I thought I'm paying for the premium, or I guess I have the verified profile for the Topping Show on X Twitter. I guess I need the Dex Y Banana Falcon Super Premium where you don't see any ads at all. Marjorie Taylor Greene press release parody account says, quote, watch out Vivek, they might label you as ... They can go F themselves, these people need to know the truth. I'm quoting 88 likes. Let's see here. Patriot Press says, quote, becoming trans is thought to be a fix-all solution for these people struggling with mental health. It's not. These are the products of big pharma's trans scam, unquote. Getting 19 likes. Let's see here. Landon Best says, quote, stop using anecdotal evidence to score political points, unquote. And he included a, what is it, infographic? And they say mass shooters by gender status, 2018, 2023. And they claim there's 2,826 done by straight people and 3 by trans. But, I mean, in the original post, they just listed more than 3. And also, one of the dishonest things when it comes to a lot of these issues, when it comes to debates around such things as mass shootings and Second Amendment, is how do you define a mass shooting? Now, that's going to tell you a lot about the sample size and the data. In some of those cases, it's 2, which, again, a bad shooting where an innocent person's life is taken, 1 is too many. I understand that. You never want that to happen. Personally, I don't think the solution is to disarm the law-abiding citizenship. That's actually one of the worst things in history happen. Now, in some of those cases, they also include gang violence, which ironically are controlled by people who want to have the mass gun control laws. Now, if you have gang violence, where again, if you were to get rid of the 6 most violent cities in the U.S., the gun violence globally in terms of statistics where the U.S. lines up drops to basically the bottom to nothing. Now, I suspect that 2,826 incidents on this specific, let me see here, infographic or this chart, I suspect that a lot of them includes that, which gang on gang violence is an issue, but I don't, again, that's not the topic, the point of contention in the debate. So bring in some data. Now, that being said, 77 people did agree with that specific comment. So interestingly enough, we are seeing some contrarian statements seep in. Merrick Garland press release says, quote, time to have a discussion. And it's the Simpsons meme of, the principal saying, it can't be me, it's supposed to be the kids. And that got 48 likes. Let's see here. Trump.ai says, quote, trans terrorists, call it what it is, MSM, getting 12 likes. James Jeanette says, quote, you could not be more correct, getting 15 likes. Let's see here. A lot of funny Simpsons memes. Let's see here. Now, interestingly enough, as I scroll through these more and more, there's a lot less likes on the actual comments. Now, I don't know, perhaps that is because this is a very polarizing and controversial topic, but usually when we're looking at Vivek's feedback, usually it is I'd say 60 to 80% overwhelmingly supportive of his original statement, but also when it comes to the likes of the comments, they're usually in the thousands. Now, again, a lot of these that we're showing you, and again, I went top to bottom, including some folks that I follow, so even though they didn't get the top number of likes, it's contrarian statements and different opinions I think make the show a little more interesting. Now, these are getting between 60 and 100 likes. There's an advertisement from the Washington Times that got 693 likes. So that got more likes than the actual statement from Vivek. So I'll be interested to see. This is perhaps one of the most polarizing topics in the United States these days. And it'll be interesting to see what's the long-term solution, what's the conversation around this. And it is cliche to say mental health, but I really think we need is community, religious help. Because I personally think that's when you have the best results, whether someone is, they don't have a job or they're struggling with working together as a community. My methodology or my thought is it's much more effective than having the government assist, which if you look at the data on how many people get on government programs and stay on government programs, I would argue that methodology is not working. So we need to try something different, increase other methods that could help them. And again, I think that people still need help. So it'll be interesting to see. Let me know in the comments, what do you think will happen with the story? Do you think, again, this is a really hot topic this week, but will it be gone by next week? Will this become a political topic when you have, in theory, there's supposed to be presidential debates this year? As always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of February, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, sharing the video is a great way to help us build the audience, and giving a like or thumbs up or thumbs down or comment, great way to give me some additional feedback. Also, lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.